All right, check, check, check. Y'all tuned in to another episode of Leading Me Legendary presents the Label Podcast. I'm your host, Nametag Alexander. Make sure y'all follow us on all social media platforms just by searching Leading Me Legendary. Visit the website leadingmelegendary.net. Make sure you order some merch. This time around, I had the opportunity to chop it up with Detroit's singer, songwriter. What else does she do? She plays the guitar, piano, just multi-talented all around. Keely Ferguson. Keely Ferguson. She has an EP out called the ELMNT EP. That's ELMNT, which is available now across all platforms so you can stream and download music. That's including Spotify, Apple Music, what else? What else? Tidal. These are all platforms basically. Make sure y'all stream that or actually, buy it, support. But very interesting episode, just knowing her backstory, as a singer songwriter and how she got her start just on the music scene. And I believe she resides in Cali now, which is even more, you know, great as far as like showing her growth, just going out there to expand. But not gonna hold y'all too long. Make sure y'all throw the episode on. Hit us with a repost, share, like, comment on the episode. Let me know what you think. So what do you feel as far as about short albums nowadays versus like full length projects? 'Cause I know you got an EP out, the Elements out now. Like, what's your
Yeah,
stance
I'm
on
with
that?
the wave. I'm with the wave of the short project, just because, um, well, for me, like I don't like to put out works that aren't complete,
Right.
and for as fast as like the world is now in 2018, like you need content,
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
So as well as the world needing that, like me as an artist, I'm always constantly growing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I really like the wave of the short project, the short EP, LP, and then as a independent artist, it's um it's just better.
Even like with, cause I usually like now what I do when I'm doing projects, like I'm always for the EP. Like I try to tell people all the time, like that's one thing me and Dean go back and forth. He be like, dog, you got a catalog, you can be an album artist. I was like, but I don't want to be. I think I'm okay with just putting
Yeah,
out
I'm,
EPs.
I'm with both. I'm with both because I have a lot of music just stored up in my laptop and my drives,
Uh,
like just for me to listen to every now and then. But I think that it's really important for me to release it. But sometimes it's like certain vibes. It's like, you're doing a mixtape or you're doing like a playlist or something
yeah.
like that. Like you want it to fit in a certain vibe. So for me, sometimes I'll just like collect music sometimes. Like I got like 6 projects just like sitting waiting
Ooh,
for like the right
grind.
time, just, over the years of just constantly working and like constantly connecting with new people, new producers and songwriters and stuff. It's just always new material coming, and
See, cause
sometimes I have to go back and like redo stuff because of you'll hear something
yeah.
and it's gross. But yeah, like I'm with both. It just has to feel right. It has to feel like a marriage. Everything got to be together
Absolutely.
for me.
I'm like, you have to like really, the producer is gonna have to convince me to do a whole album. And I feel like with an album, if it's like just one solid producer, then fine. And like even with
Yeah,
EPs, same thing. Like I don't know, I
yeah,
was in that zone first putting out music, but now,
yeah.
like you say, the wave now is like people just looking for that content so fast. They want to consume it so quick. So I'm like, when people be like they about to put out an album, people be so excited about the album. I'm like, man, y'all not really excited about the full length like that. Y'all be okay if it's like nine
Yeah,
track tops, maybe
yeah.
12.
And you know what? I learned it from Miguel because Miguel used to put out like 3-song EPs, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a double-sided 3-song EP or something like that. But that's when I caught the wave. And then, yeah, I'm
Cause
just excited to put out music.
you could even break it up into like quarters. You could be like, all right, first quarter I got like a 4 song project out. Second quarter I'm dropping
Mm-hmm.
one with 5. You can just really just break it up and like feed the fans
Easily.
that's looking for the music.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's my wave. I'm with it. How do you feel about the current landscape, like separating yourself from it? How do you feel about just as a fan of music alone? What do you think about the current landscape of R&B?
I think it's kind of dope still to me. Like I like her. Like I listen to a lot of
Ah,
people. I
love
listen
her.
to Snow. To what's up? Just a long time ago. But you know, everybody from Bryson Tiller, like like
So
it's a good world. I think so.
it's interesting because you hear the whole thing with everybody saying like, oh man, this ain't how it used to be in the '90s, and then somehow people just kind of overlook that era of the 2000s when like you had great R&B. All of why do y'all just skip over this? I was listening to Icebox the other
Yeah,
day.
every era is gonna be different. Every era
Yeah,
is gonna feel different, but it's still good. You know, it's not. It's you can't say there's less than. You know, because it's different.
I'm
It's
happy
different.
with the landscape that's now because it's almost like it's a mixture of both. It's like a blurred line of both. You get a little. It's not rap, but they kind of like
Yeah.
singing it like how like Black is good for that. You spell it with the six, whatever.
I like it because it feels very honest. Like
Yeah,
I can resonate with a lot of the stuff that's coming out. I'm like, dang, like I really would have said that.
real
As far as
relatable.
like, yeah, like the music that kind of like inspired me to do music, like growing up and stuff. It's more of, almost like selling a dream sometimes.
Yeah, I can see
Just
that.
because of the picture that just the way that the picture is painted is really beautiful, right? But it doesn't like I think as time progressed, people accepted more things, just whatever globally, all across the board. But it just gave you a little more leeway, a little more freedom to be honest.
To give you an
And
example, I thought it was interesting. Like I was watching the Bobby Brown story, and they were like shooting a video for I guess his first single as a solo artist at the time, which was I believe Girlfriend. And I'm
uh
listening to the song and everything's like I need a girlfriend, whatever, da da da. And I'm like, you know what? Nowadays, if Bobby Brown obviously was how he was back then, he wouldn't even have a song like this. It'd be more relatable to his actual life, which is how a lot of
yeah,
these R&B artists are doing now. It's more like,
yeah,
as people will say, emo. They kind of letting you know what they going through. It's like they
yeah.
vulnerable,
Cause
very
it,
vulnerable.
and the reason why that I appreciate it is because it's needed. People need to feel with everything that's expanding and like growing, and you have access to everything. We need
Yeah.
to feel that so that we don't feel alone. My girl Charity just dropped a record called Millennium. This is really dope. Y'all should check it
Yes.
out.
No, I love it. I heard it the
Um,
other day.
yeah, super proud of her. But it resonates. We feel that, we understand that, and that's what music is supposed to do. And that's why I am. Yeah, I like the way. I
And
like the
I'm
platform.
glad she now that you mentioned that record because I was gonna bring it up too. I'm glad she put it out because I was comparing it to like her older project and I said, see, this one's a little bit more relatable. Her last project was just kind of more like being in love, let's hold hand. That it was that vibe, but it matched.
But the thing is, we need that too. You
It
feel
got to be
me?
a
Like
balance.
I can't. It has to be a balance because that's what life is. Like it's not all one side. It's yin and yang. It's good and the bad, which
Yeah,
makes everything perfect.
no, that's real.
And so that's what I was saying, like about those. That's the type of feel that I was saying when I told you the type of music that inspired me. Like as a kid, like listening to like Stevie Wonder.
Uh huh.
It's really beautiful. And I think that it's good. It's important to have that to grow in like love and confidence and everything. But I just think it's like a good balance.
Yeah, because I
Um,
think we're gonna look back and like I say, the people that I don't want to say that people are complaining about it, but you see it a lot. Like, oh, this R&B ain't how it was back in the day. It's like, well, it's not supposed to be. Even with rap, you know what I'm
right? It's
saying?
not
Like,
supposed to be. We're
you
different. That's the
exactly.
point.
Nobody times are different. Financial times are different for a lot of people. It's not stuff just is not gonna be the
Mm-hmm.
same. So it's gonna be
Right?
interesting to
Right?
look back. I would even say, hell, I'll even say 5 years from now. It's gonna be interesting to look back and be like, damn, this is what was out back then. This was dope.
For real, for real.
How do you feel about the Music Modernization Act that just passed? As far as for well, I don't know if it passed fully because it still got to meet the White House. But as far as songwriters, what do you think about that?
I think it's important. Songwriters often, because I've been back and forth between being an artist and a songwriter,
Hmm.
and we need we deserve our respect. You know what I'm saying? Give us our credit. Like
Cause if you just look at, like I would look at, like it was crazy. I had just got a check in the mail from Sound Exchange the same week that it had passed, and when I looked at the
Mhm.
reporting on it, I was just looking like, yo, how do they break this down? Like, how is this broken
Mhm.
down to where you just know, like, okay, well, now you get this, you get 0.000 whatever. It's like, well, okay, how are they breaking this down up amongst the higher ups before it even reaches the songwriters? Like, so I think this is kind of cool that they passing that. I'm interested to see what is going to come out to as far as like what the songwriters are actually paid. Let's say off Spotify, like off 1,000 streams, what do you end up getting? I think now off 1,000 streams, you might get like, depending on the distribution service, you might get like $3. But now I'm curious to see what it's going to be once the act goes through completely.
Right. Right. Yeah. I'm interested to see it too. Um, I gotta, so that's like I said, it's a lot of what my life is. That's my job. That's my 9 to 5. Is I wake up and I'm,
Straight to the music.
anybody straight to the music. Um, but yeah, I appreciate it.
Now, what about the whole thing with Spotify eventually allowing artists? It's not fully through yet. I think it's like in a beta form to where they're going to have like artists now uploading the music directly to their platform.
Mhm. Um, I think that it's gonna become a little bit like SoundCloud,
Yeah.
and SoundCloud is evolving too. It's everything's always changing and always evolving. It's gonna 3 years from now we're gonna look up. It's gonna be a completely different way that we even listen to music. It's just you never know. It's just
You know what's funny? With that being said, like, 'cause you said another way to listen to music, and I thought about that, and I was wondering, like, well, how? Like, what else can they do? You
I
know,
don't really know. I don't really know. I'm just talking trash,
but no, that's why I
but
brought it. I said it
that's the point.
because when music first, like, the whole reason record labels started, and I was reading this the other day, was because from what I heard, it was like they were trying to sell music in furniture stores. They were trying to literally put the music inside of furniture and sell it that way. They felt that would be the way to sell like sheet music or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was news to me. I'm like, what? And this was like in the 1800s. I'm like, what?
Uh,
Like, how did that? I think like 1845. I could be wrong. I had to double check that just to get the facts, but I'm like, wow, like really? That's how that came about? Like they were trying to sell it in furniture, like chairs and everything, to where you buy the furniture, you'll get this music. And then they'll generate the royalties based off that.
wow, that's dope.
So like just to see it come from that and then that jump from that to whatever, I guess vinyl. I don't know. It seemed like vinyl was just around forever before somebody decided to say, oh, let's sell an 8 track or let's sell a tape cassette. And here we are now in the streaming era, and that's about to be here for a while. That's the crazy
Yeah,
thing.
for sure.
Like that's so it's I
For
think
sure. Unless
eventually it's gonna
everything
get better.
crashes, huh?
So no, I said I think it's eventually gonna get better. So it was just weird when you said it, you was like, well, they're gonna have another way to listen to it. It just clicked in my mind, like, well damn, how? Like what would be the other way? Like
Mhm.
I don't know. It's kind of that's something to think about actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
cover that's interesting. You said that too about it could probably become like SoundCloud. Cause I was like that could be a
Yeah.
good or a bad thing. Cause you know how like now it's a thing. Like a lot of us help build a fan base with SoundCloud. Cause I remember a lot of
Uh
your music was on SoundCloud, if I'm not mistaken. So
huh. A lot of my because I'm an independent artist.
yeah,
Like this is the first project that I did that actually released through like the iTunes platforms
okay,
and like the streaming platforms. Well, actually, I did some stuff with streaming before, but yeah, it's just SoundCloud it was easy. I think everybody's progressing, so it's I wouldn't be surprised if they like turned up and had like labels and stuff like that. Like they already have showcases and do
yeah.
platforms,
I
activations and everything. But
I think what made SoundCloud dope was the engagement. Like you could post something and then you look and it's literally people commenting on your music. Or they're
hmm
sharing, they're able to repost and share. Now I
that's
wouldn't be
it too.
surprised if Spotify does that.
Maybe.
So I think that'd be kind of ill. But just to kind of segue and
Yeah.
just spill over to like you say, you started out with SoundCloud, you was independent. Now your background, how did you the influence that started you in music? I obviously the listeners that may not be familiar want to know. I read up on it. I was kind of familiar. I was like, oh shit, that's dope. But like, talk to them about how you got started in music.
Well, my whole family is in music. my mother and my father both worked in Motown. My mom was the backup singer for Aretha Franklin, and my dad's the music director for the Spinners. So I kind of like out the womb was like on tour with my dad, and I had my mom a little bit, but not really. But my dad, I got to go out and like, I would travel a lot with him and be backstage and stuff. So it inspired me. Like it didn't immediately inspire me to do music, but obviously growing up around it, like it's all I hear, it's all I know. It's like I'm breathing music pretty much, like, and not, I guess, fully aware of it. But yeah, I will look back and like realize that I've just kind of been creating my whole life because of that. And then my grandmother would always tell me stories of my family history. And my great-great-grandfather, his name is Henry K. Ealy, and he was brought to America from Henry Ford to start his quartet, and like he introduced like the ukulele to America, like some crazy, like wild stuff. And so it was just always, kind of in my face, like, she would just play the music, and I don't know, it's dope, like looking back at it.
So what?
I appreciate it.
Talk about like with dance, because to my understanding, you also not only first I saw piano lessons too, so it was like piano and dance.
Yeah, they had me at everything, because it's it's so much that you have to sacrifice in the music industry. My parents had to find like different programs and to help when they were around, they were always like instilling things in me.
Okay.
And I think that they wanted to make sure that when they were gone or on the road or whatever, they could ensure that I would be learning something or being able to grow in different ways. And so they always had me in programs, and dance was one of my favorites. I was able to open up at a lot of like theaters, like I think the Opera House was one for sure. But it was I just remember like down Jefferson, and like I was always in like theater, and so theater and like acting a little bit with Mosaic Youth Theater, and yeah, it's just it's still a part of my life. Like I can't, like I'm always dancing. I'm eating, I'm dancing.
This is like it's second nature for you, pretty much.
For sure. But it just goes, music and dance goes hand in hand.
So talk about just like your journey, just as far as like, because you collaborated with some legends in the city, from what I recall. You know what I mean? Like just the whole start, because it was with, if I'm not mistaken, Big Sean was first, wasn't it? Now, how did that start out? I remember the mixtape. I remember the first Finally Famous Volume 1, but what's the backstory to that?
Yeah, that's what I was actually, just because I saw him 2 days ago.
Word.
And I was just telling him, like, yo, like that was actually like my first time in the studio. Like I didn't make Love Story, but yes, I did actually. I take it back. I re-recorded it.
Okay.
But when I created Love Story, it was my first time going into like studio. And so I went, and actually it was with Cherry. That's dope. She was performing at Risen Soul Festival, and Brandon Smith is his name. He's the owner of Star Factory.
I was just about to say, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was just telling me like, you should go home and like write a song and record it. I'm like, we'll see what see if you like it or whatever. Because this is when I was making the switch from dance to music. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Like I can do that. I went home and I sat down at the piano and I played the chords. And I don't know where the song came from, honestly. Like it wasn't like really inspired by nobody. I actually had just broken up with my high school boyfriend. It was like, I don't know, I was just writing songs. I was having one of those moments of like, I guess, thinking about the music that inspired me. That was about love and positivity. And actually, that had it was actually a part 2 to Love Story, and it told about like like the realities of like love and like heartbreak and stuff like that.
Okay.
But We were just like, no, we gonna keep it late. We gonna keep it late. So I went in and recorded it, and then Sean came in the next day or the day after, or something like that, and said that he liked it and he wanted to record it and collab on it.
The rest
And
is
so
history.
put it out in his mixtape.
So
And
that
then,
so you came out the gate just like, cause this was when he was first signed to Good at the time, right?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So you
Yep.
damn you already had the backstory as far as your family. So you just kind of came out the gate just like swinging, literally like you came out the gate like just
I had
you
no clue.
know.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going to the studio.
But
But it
see,
was, yeah, it's really dope.
But
It's
see,
really
that's
dope.
dope
Especially, you
because
know, now.
it's not like a forced situation. It's like you just doing what you naturally gifted at. Like you say, you was like it's art. You're an artist. Like even with dance, so you're like, oh, I'll make this transition. Let me go ahead and just write a song. Yeah, I broke up with somebody. Let me go ahead and boom. Now we're in a Big Sean mixtape. But that's like the dopest shit because it just is natural. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's flow right into like another career.
Yeah.
And then that
Started
just
my career.
like I say, and then that just led to other names, like because you had the, if I'm not mistaken, it was like the Eminem features. You had the feature with Royce. I remember
Mm-hmm.
that. Now
Mm-hmm.
with the Nine with Mr. Porter at the time, was that the My Own Planet label you were rocking
Yep.
with? Or okay, okay.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm going off memory. I'm just like I ain't got no notes off that. I'm just like I remember My Own Planet. I remember he had a roster. I know Keely was one of them.
Yes, it was me, Marvin, Young Rock, Drake Butter, Hotto. Who else was over there? We had a little squad.
How did that come
It was
about?
dope.
Cause I see they still like push. Well, I think it's like Heaven now or something like that. But how did that
Uh-huh.
happen as far as the whole My Own Planet situation?
Aloe Black. Aloe Black connected me with Denai, and then they reached out to Nelson, I think.
Okay.
No, they reached out to me. I don't know how I got in touch with it. Somebody called me or like emailed me or something. And because I was working with a production company called Evolution,
Okay.
and so it was just like maybe 4 or 5 of us. We were a production company, and that was when I went to make the split to artist from songwriter.
Dope.
And I signed to Denai, and he was like, "I believe in you," and I believed in him, and so yeah, we just worked. It was really, really, really dope experience. One of the best experiences I've gotten.
See, it's just another one. It's natural. It wasn't like you know what I'm saying. It wasn't like it wasn't no. Yeah, I was just out here. You know what I'm saying. I was emailing everybody. I was saying, yo, if you know somebody, get this to him. It was just like, yo, I had this song and I wrote.
Yeah.
It's like, that's crazy. Like and it's like you humble about it. That's what make it even. That's a Detroit thing though too. That's definitely a
Yeah.
Detroit thing. Like we'll have some accolades and be super humble about like you know what I mean. You know I did that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
you don't want to be
you know
corny. You don't want to be, oh,
that's
blah, blah, I'm from that. That's cool.
that's what I like about us as Detroit artists. Like we definitely will have some achievements and be super humble about it. Like yeah, because it's life. It's just like yeah, this is what I do, so this is kind of supposed to come with it. Like
Keep growing.
yeah.
Sure.
Like what's next? Time to let's get another win. Let's keep because it don't stop
Yeah.
there. That's how you got to think. It don't stop there, man.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I definitely have been wondering about that story. I'm like, I remember My Own Planet. Like, what happened with that? Because I think now, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say he just went on to like Heaven. I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
label per se. I know they got the studio for that, but I want to say that's just like the label. Now,
Yeah.
the Element EP. The reason
Mm-hmm.
behind that title, the reason behind it being spelled, I see that a lot. Like to where it's like my Twitter handle is like my name, but I spell it similar to how the EP is spelled. Like it's just like
Yeah.
ALXNDR. So like the reason for the title though behind that EP, I think I have an idea as to why, but I want to hear it from the source. How did that title
Well,
come
it's
about?
every song represents an element of personal success
Okay.
for me. And so, and you got Up and Away is an element of passion. And like I didn't want them to be. I just wanted it to be of that element, not necessarily what your when you think of passion, what it is. That's what you think, but it's just the element that just the support of it, in your life. It's just things that you need like trust, identity, confidence, alignment, And so everyone just, every song had that element.
Now, my favorite. Now, when did you decide? Like, because I don't even want to get into my favorite song yet. I think I told you what it was, I believe. But when did you decide? Like, because like I said, we was just talking about this earlier, as far as like EPs just being a wave. When did you just was like, you know what? It's time for me to put out a full length. Let me go ahead and put this out, and let me get it across all platforms.
It was actually one of those moments where we were just talking about how, you sit down with a producer and you're like, okay, we're going to do it. Like, that was me and Dre. So
okay.
I went to Dre because Opener is a company, and they were putting out it's like artist collaboration.
Uh-huh.
And so they approached me and they asked me, who would I like to work with? And so I picked Dre, and then we did a show at the Build. It was really nice. And then we went to Finish Like I Do. This is the first song that we did from the project. And I finished it because I think I had to add like some backgrounds. And then we did another song because he was like, you want to do another one? We put up, no, actually he was just playing tracks. And I was like, yo, let's do that. And so I went in and we was like, okay, we did Up and Away. Okay. I'm like, all right, like, we got to do a project. Like, it just, it doesn't make sense not to. Great chemistry. And so we did that. We got a couple more stuff in the chamber, ready to go. But yeah, that's how that happened.
I always want to know the stories. That's why I had to ask. I'm like, because, you always see albums come out, you see EPs, and it's just like, like, because we, as artists, we don't have to put out projects. And so it always interests me to know, like, when you could clearly put out a single and just ride off that and it just be the shit, and you just keep grinding off that.
I felt like it was time to. I had been, like I said, like, there's so much material, so much music that it's just in my drive. I looked up and I was like, wow, like, I don't have anything for, like, it was my first project.
See, I'm gonna learn something from you, because I'm taking notes from this, because I'm the artist that it's hard for me to sit on music. Like, I'm sitting on music now, but it's so difficult. Like, when I say, like, literally I'm sitting on music from like 2 years ago.
Well, I think I might be like a little weird kind of thing, because I don't know. I don't like to, like I said, I like to do things where it's just like complete. So if I can like complete one song, like knock it out, like, I'm with that.
Because I'll definitely sit on some work and be like, I gotta get out.
That had no pressure for me, but to do a project, I was just like, yo, like, it's gotta be, everything has to be right.
Because I could tell, like, listening to it, I'm like, everything is just, like you said, like, everything is aligned. So I'm like, it's just aligned perfectly.
It wouldn't be right if we didn't have that element of alignment.
And I think at the time when I listened to it, I forgot that it was just one, solid producer. I'm like, oh, it's one producer, like, producing. I think that's just great about EPs or just projects in general.
Yeah, I co-produced. I co-produced Tidal Wave.
Dope.
I went in and played guitar and a little piano roll that you hear at the beginning.
Dope. Yeah, so you going far. That enough in itself. Like you say, you're an artist and stuff, you sing, but at the same time, like you said, I songwrite and I play the piano and you hitting guitar. Like, that's
where it started for me. It didn't start with like the shows and stuff. That didn't come till later, until I put everything together, put my dance world with the music world, and from acting you get to like public speaking, and you lose that fear of being in front of people, and so just like putting it all together, it made it what it is now. But that's where it started for me. It started at home in front of the piano, or in the bathroom with the echo, with the reverb.
Yeah, right. That's where you get the original reverb at.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite track off this project, I'm gonna tell you why. It's Happy for Me.
Yes.
I love that song.
I think that's my favorite too. I'm actually about to drop, and I did an acoustic version of it.
Oh my god! Are you doing a video for that?
Yeah.
Oh man, is it y'all shooting it in Detroit?
Well, the acoustic video is already shot, but the The other version, I'm not sure.
Y'all gonna do it in Cali. It's sunny out there. I get it. I understand. It makes sense. Don't come to gloomy Detroit. I know, but man, that song. Because I'm just going through the EP. I'm like, oh yeah, this a vibe. This a vibe. I got to that when I heard the drums. The drums off top, the way it came out, I said, "Oh man, this got like Raspberry
Yeah,
Beret vibes by
for
Prince."
sure. For sure. I went to Dre. I said, we got to do something like Prince, to a Prince.
Man,
Inspired. Inspired by the OG.
all I heard was the drums. I didn't hear no other instrument in the song. Nothing had dropped yet. No bridge, no nothing. Just the drums. I said, "This is my favorite
Right?
song. This is my favorite song of the
Right?
project." Then the
Nailed it.
hook, the hook, I was like, "Oh man, it's so happy." It's called "Happy" for me, but I was like, "It's so happy." I tried to be chill about it. I said, I can't even sit here and chill and like just.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm happy, man.
You
I just
better
feel
dance.
great.
I'm happy because funny you don't dance. I didn't do my job.
I was like, man, I started moving a little bit. I say, oh man, this is it, man. This the one. This is out of there. Cause I'm listening to it. I was
Yeah.
like, what I do is a lot of songs like from Detroit artists. Like we got so much good quality music. I like to take songs and I throw it on a playlist where it's mixed with artists from others, states that's like mainstream. They already popping, got a lot of music on the radio. Like, your Drakes and everybody. I throw it in there with them. And just to see like if I remember like, oh yeah, I forgot I put this on here, so I let it cook. And I want to say what song? Oh, what's the song with Miguel and Travis Scott? Sky. What is it?
Skywalker. Yeah.
Yes, that Skywalker came on. That transition right into Happy for me. And
Nice.
the song, the quality is so good on that. You know what I'm saying? It went right
Yeah.
into it. I was like, perfect. And it's like,
Uh,
it's such a vibe. I was like, man, this is my favorite song on the EP. Like, this is it right here.
like that.
Yes,
That's
man.
fun.
All I heard was the drums. All that's all I needed to hear. All that's it. This is the drum set. I know this is about to be the shit.
Yay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Then when
That was gold. It makes people feel good, you know?
and then the crazy part is when I listened to it, I was selfish. I was like, okay, if this is my favorite song of the EP, I want this to be everybody's favorite song of the EP. Because that's all I gotta ask her if this is her favorite song. Like, this is too good of a vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Right now it is. It changes.
Man, oh yeah.
Like
This is
it really changes from day to day. Because it just kind of depends, I guess, on my mood.
it. Word.
It's fresh for me, you know.
No, that's
Like
understandable.
I've had the project for about a year now,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe almost a year. But sometimes when you make music, I know, like as an artist, like sometimes we'll get tired of hearing something.
Right.
But it hasn't reached that point for me, and everyone is just like, when it hits like a different way, it just be like crazy.
See, that's when you know you got some shit. Like, you ain't tired of it yet.
Yeah.
You might get tired of something if you done with it and you like, all right, it's not out yet, but you just hearing it, you like, no, I know I can do better. And then that's when you're tired of it. You know you done reached that peak and you like, oh, this is it right here. And you ain't tired of it yet, like, yeah, we can ride this till the wheels fall off. I go through that a lot. Just my last project that I meant to I'm gonna send you a link without spamming it to my last EP, Hello Victory, that's produced by an artist from here, Black Beethoven. So we put this out in 2017 in September. And just the other day I was like, okay, we got one video, couple placements for one of the songs. That's dope. I said, but I ain't done with it. I said, I feel like I can get more, more legs out of this. Like this project got more legs. Like, cause you would think in your head, like, I'm tired of it, or everybody I know done heard it.
People haven't heard it.
Yeah, literally, exactly. So I'm like, I was like, we get caught up in that so fast. That's why, like, that's something I'm gonna learn from you, cause you was like, I got a drive full of music. And I'm like, I just never really been that artist, but I'm like, maybe I could switch it up and just start, consistently keep recording and just keep recording and work in the project that I got already.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel bad right now. I haven't, because I've, been doing a lot with, like, the rest of my career outside of, like, just creating the music.
Yeah.
Like, I obviously still find time to make music, but I'm not just, like, waking up and going, being able to go straight into, like, my own little personal session. Like, I'll have stuff to do And
It's
so it kind of
so
like,
much. It's so much to tie into it
yeah,
now
but
too.
you have to find time to do it though. Just don't ever stop. You want to always
Especially with
put in
social
your hours.
media. If you got a following, you got to cater to that. Like you don't want to just be ghost from that too long, because then it's like, nah,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you don't have to be ghostwriting yourself. You got to keep doing it to know where you are and keep growing.
Exactly.
And so, when you step away from that, you step away. For me, it's like stepping away from myself. So I just always have to keep going,
So have
keep
you
doing
have
more.
you all have you and Dre like been pitching the like any songs off of the project? Specifically, happy for me for like licensing, like any placements, cause no, cause that got to get
Yeah,
placed
yeah,
somewhere.
for sure. I got a couple of films, like independent films and
Dope.
some other stuff that's in the works. But
Yeah, I need to see that. Like, cause I was gonna ask like if y'all linked with which by a wild guess I'm assuming yeah, link with any of the music supervisors down at Assemble Sound.
oh yeah, for sure.
Cause they got that department down
Yep.
there. That's what I normally link up with, and I
That's what,
get a lot of placements through
huh?
them. So
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's they the real.
yeah, cause I was like some of these songs got to be placed. Like the vibe is just there, so that'd be excellent to see. So what's next? Like for Keely, what's on deck next for you as far as just music,
Man,
anything in
I'm
life in
I'm
general?
just gonna keep doing everything, keep getting better at whatever it is. I'm trying to do more in the film world. I have been doing a lot of like behind the scenes stuff. Like I worked on Transformers 5. I was a production assistant for Michael Bay, and I did choreography on Oz for a while. That was like 5 years
Wow.
ago. Yeah, but just trying to get back into that world. I would like to be in front of the screen, but I do appreciate learning and seeing how everything works. It's just kind of how like I don't know. I just like to see the whole picture.
So with all of that being said, like with podcasting, it's a platform now that a lot of independent artists can use to, I guess I would say, help push everything that's going on as far as their endeavors. Is that something that you see yourself going into as far as like, let's say if it was a podcast for songwriting or songwriting tips or just for musicians period,
Uh huh.
would you end up doing something like that?
I haven't thought about it for real. Just because it might take a little time to do editing on top of
Yeah.
I do everything that because I'm very do it yourself.
Yep, same here.
That's
That's
all
why
it is right
I drop like once a month. Like I don't even I don't, cuz it's so much you got to do. Like I don't, you got to do music. I'm like, "Damn, I got to do music and I got to do a podcast.
now.
I got to figure
Yeah,
something out."
yeah, but I'm a think about that. It's just something I haven't thought about.
Something to consider.
So
Just cuz just hearing you and then just like getting that energy and then the energy that I see from social media, I'm like, "Yo, not only is you not just like are you a personality?" You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
it's not just she can sing, she dope, she can write, you know what I'm saying, or she can play the keys. Like that's those are like triple threats in itself. So like just you know what I'm saying, like just throwing the personality in there just to add more to it, like that's gonna even gain more of a following for you.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, just give
Thanks.
it a shot. Like,
Thanks.
hey, listen, everybody's doing it. So it's like everybody doing it, but you never know. Like you do it, and then people are like, yo, that was dope. It happened with me. Like I tried it with DDT. Me and DJ DDT did one episode, and people was hitting me like, yo, that's dope.
Keep
You
going.
gonna do more? I'm like, nah, I didn't plan on it, but all right, let's see how this pans out. And
Yeah,
I messed around and met great people. Like when I really was
yeah,
telling
for real.
people, it's funny. Like I was telling people, I said, wow, like it's kind of like I feel like I made more connections in music through podcasting than I did just through music. Period.
Yeah, because people appreciate, it's a real connection in actual like conversation.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, like sometimes when you listen to music, you aren't always in the mood for a certain song,
Right.
so it won't resonate with you at that moment. But a conversation is a conversation, and
You got
yeah,
time to
it only happens.
disagree or agree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it only a conversation only happens because it's there's interest, is input. You have to listen and you have to speak and you have to be, conscious and aware of what's going on. So it's, you gotta click for it to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus, yeah.
You
Versus,
may it's weird because
I'm
you'll
sorry.
find yourself. No, my bad. I was gonna say you find yourself like well, at least I find myself like listening more to interviews and podcasts more than I do music these
Oh, for
days.
sure.
And I don't know if that
For
comes with
sure.
age or not, but it's like I'm like, yo, I'm so in
Maybe.
tune into this
I don't know.
conversation.
I think it probably could just be because I too sometimes I have to have I gotta turn up some sounds in the car. I gotta listen. Like, it just depends on my mood. Honestly, I
Yeah,
think it depends on the person. Whether or not you want to listen to people talk all day or you want to, listen to a song and, because music is an escape,
yep.
it helps you to connect to what you want to connect to and, feel how you want to feel. And so, yeah, I don't know. It just depends on the person.
It's a podcast you might like. I don't know if you listen to me, but you might like the Friend Zone. That's a
I think I've listened to it before.
Yep, you might mess with that one. Like it's weird because one of the chick that's on there, she's actually I guess she's still a musician. I don't know for sure, but you might rock with that. That seems like that might be your vibe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check that out again. I think
Yeah.
I listened to it before. It was funny.
Now let them know like where they can find you on social media for the most part, because your social media be lit.
Well,
Like I've seen it.
yeah, thank you.
Before you actually drop that, it's one. Now this is why I said that too, because I saw one that it was right before you went back to Cali. And
Uh-huh.
it was you and your friend, and you guys did like something with a cup. Y'all did a beat, and y'all were like saying, I said, what? Like, how is they even doing that like that? I was
That's
like,
from
yo,
that's from Pitch Perfect. For the perfect fit. Pitch Perfect.
man, I like that is talent. Like, how do you even
Uh-huh.
do that? I'm like, what is they do?
We took some time out to do that. We had time on our hands back then.
I like that took mad practice, man. It was just in sync. Like the beat, I said, they ain't edit nothing. They ain't sync the beat that they
It
did
was
on the
so fun
table.
though. It was so fun.
I like that's crazy.
My best.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
But
the Instagram be lit. Let them know where they can find you at on social media.
yeah, so my name is Keely Ferguson. It's KeelyFerguson, and that's where you can find me anywhere on the World Wide Web.
Anywhere on social media. And where's the EP at? Where can it be heard?
It can be heard on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, SoundCloud, YouTube, any streaming platform, Amazon. So
I got I
Keely
got
Ferguson.
I got to say this for the hip hop heads that's listening, the older hip hop heads. Is it vinyl? Is it on CD? You know, they go, they ain't got no vinyl.
Take an order.
They feelings gonna be hurt. That's how they go.
Yeah,
You ain't got
take an
no
order.
vinyl. I'm like, no, I don't have vinyl. You know how much that costs? Like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I mean it's real, but I like vinyl. I'm kind of a part of that community.
no, I am too. Like, I got some on deck, but I'm like, when it come to me, and I know I gotta come out of pocket, like to get it pressed up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
I mean, you get enough orders, go for it.
oh yeah, definitely get that demand going, and then it's like, yeah. Any shows coming up anytime soon?
Right now, to be determined. I'm kind of doing working on some projects.
Okay.
I'm not doing many shows. I did, was performing a lot in the summer. I may do some schools and some pop-up activations. But I am concentrating on a few projects right now. I'm working with a couple nonprofits.
Okay.
To do like sustainability programs for my hood and for other people's hoods, and just trying to reach out and help people.
That's dope.
I'm working on that project, and then just other people's projects and like music and stuff like that.
Ooh, can we get some names? We able to name names?
Huh? Can I give a name?
Your name? You said you working on some other people's projects.
Oh yeah, no, I can't give any names. Yeah.
That mean it's somebody big.
Okay,
we
gotta wait.
We working on a new Beyonce album. Yes.
I'm just working.
That's what's up. Keep grinding. I definitely appreciate you taking the time to be able to, just even have this conversation. Like I said, I wanted to just have a
Thank you
conversation.
for reaching out.
We're gonna have to have you on eventually. I don't know. I ain't gonna say soon. I really want to spread it out. But yeah, this is a good conversation. I appreciate it.